Let's move on to the Greater Accra Regional Security Council. They're ordering the arrest and prosecution of for people who breach the COVID-19 protocols, and we're expecting that to happen. That should certainly be a good thing, right? Enforcing it, because we have been calling for enforcement to happen for a while now, but it appeared, you know, the law enforcement agencies were not so keen on it. We're now seeing the Security Council, the Regional Security Council, taking up this matter. It's a good
between the Regional Coordinating Council of Greater Accra and the Flagstaff House is not far. They have a lot of people to arrest at the Flagstaff House. People who have violated the protocols day by day. The distance between the Greater Accra Regional Coordinating Council and Sandbox, which is operated by Asante Bidiotu's wife, even at a time when all bars and sports were asked not to operate, the woman is still operating because she's a wife to the Secretary of the President. It's not far. Look, I am for the respectability of the protocols, but laws, nobody is above the laws of this country. That you have violations of the laws every single day. We are all witnesses to what happened in the funeral of my good friend, Sir John. We are all witnesses to what happens day by day. We are all witnesses to what happened during the marriage ceremony of Asante Bidiotu and the wife. The president and the vice president and their spouses were there. Apart from them, who indeed put on the nose masks, many people there, which your station carried, didn't put on the nose masks, including the secretary to the president and his spouse. And again, there wasn't any, social distancing. So it is good to respect the protocols. Mind you, pastors were jailed for violating those protocols. Yet politicians violate the protocols with alacrity. And then the Greater Accra Regional Security Council would tell us that, oh, we are going to do this. It would have been good if they were following suit. So I urge them, and if they don't have fuel in their vehicles, I'll sacrifice to spend my salary to buy fuel, to go to the Flagstaff House. There are a lot of culprits at the Flagstaff House with whom they can arrest for violating these protocols.
Mutal Mohammed, okay, so the other thing that the Regional Security Council is looking at is the Aboboya and the fact that they're supposed to stay off certain streets. Now, you have a lot of them in your constituency, but, well, not quite the area of streets. So it doesn't fall within the Greater Accra region. But then this is happening in Accra. Your take on it?
Well, you see, it's amazing. These are people's livelihood. These Aboboya people are using its livelihood. There is absolutely nothing wrong. People can ride motorbikes on the street, and these people cannot operate on the street. What is this? Is there any sense in it? Can someone tell me that accidents have occasioned as a result of this Aboboya?
So they're saying certain streets, so they're not banning them off the streets completely.
Look, Israel, I have been to the Washington before and have been to the Central Business District of Washington. Traffic is not flowing as anybody would expect. Of course, today we have shopping malls springing up and everybody is happy. This is a danger to our economy. The livelihood of many people in this country depends on selling on the street. I have never been an advocate for this so-called decongestion, particularly on the street, particularly at certain designated areas, let's say the Central Business District. People are no longer go. There is a Chinatown, a China mall at Spintex, in violation of the GIPC law in this country. Nobody says anything. There's another one springing up at the West Hill malls, and they are destroying our businesses. You have this government going to negotiate with the government so that the Nigerian businessmen can apply it on their retail business in this country with alacrity, which is a clear violation of the laws. Internally today, the Aboboya, we call it yellow, is overtaken by Nigerians. Let me get this point very clear. I'm not against Nigerians being in Ghana. I have been a defender of the interests of the Nigerians when I was the Deputy Minister for Trade. But let's be very clear. We have rules and regulations in this country. This is what young people depend on. This is what also uses to ease the traffic. In India, you have it. In Nigeria, you have this Aboboya being operated. But the question is that to what extent does it affect vehicular movement?
They're restricted in Nigeria as well.
Well, but I have seen them in Lagos. I have seen them in Abuja. I have seen them in many streets in Lagos. So I don't know which restrictions you are
So they're supposed to stay off certain streets. And that's what they're seeking to enforce here as well.
For them to stay off certain streets, there must be a reason. Is it that they create, free movement of vehicles?
The highways primarily, because on the highways they can't travel as fast as the other vehicles, and they can cause a disruption.
There are people who drive leisurely on the highways. Do you have any problem with that?
There's also a problem with that. I mean, you can't be stalling on a highway.
But people drive that way every day. People drive that way every day. Look, for someone to convince me that they are not supposed to operate, then they must tell me that, one, they impede vehicular movement. Two, they also help in causing, if you like, traffic on the street. Three, they occasioned accidents. This will be convincing, to me. But if it is that they are just engaged in abubuya, perhaps we need to regulate how they conduct their business. But to deny them access of certain streets because they are abubuya, I think is just incredulous.
All right, so we'll be getting to speak with the experts, and they're going to be explaining to us why they're getting them off the street. So we'll get a fuller understanding of why this is happening. So thank you very much, Murtala Mohammed, for making time to speak with us, and you going at some persons in government and having to mention their names and their relatives all through. But thank you very much.
Isn't it important to you to know the people behind the Frontier Health?
Not always necessary. Not always.
It is necessary in this case. It is necessary in this case because millions of dollars have been made. It is necessary in this case because that company had no prior knowledge in the area they are engaged in. It is necessary in this case because they registered the company a month before they started it. It is necessary that they open an offshore account and the monies are locked in there. It is necessary because they got a Nigerian bank operating the engaged graduates in this country and paid them 830 Ghana cedis a month, regardless the risk involved in what they do.
Is there anything illegal about that? About all that they're doing?
Oh, it is not everything that is illegal. When Nkrumah passed the PDA, people lambasted the PDA. Was it illegal?
Don't call the phone.
Because if it's illegal, so if it's illegal, let's deal with it. But if it's
I'm saying that it doesn't necessarily need to be illegal. There is a moral wrong action and there is a legally wrong action. That's why I asked the question. When the PDA was passed by Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, people still condemned the PDA. There was nothing illegal about it. It went through an act of parliament. It was an act of parliament, isn't it?
All right. Thank you very much, Murtala Mohammed, once again, Tamale Central MP.